careful maybe. Namo Vishnu Krishna Pestaya Vipule Shrimati Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namo Vishnu Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prasthaya Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prasthaya Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prasthaya Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gauranga 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 Bhagavad Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nanda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadeko Bhakta Vrinda Bhagavad Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nanda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadeko Bhakta Vrinda Bhagavad Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nanda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadeko Bhakta Vrinda Bhagavad Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nanda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadeko Bhakta Vrinda Kumara Kanya Lama Madana Mohana Kumara Govinda Rama 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 Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana 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 Mohana Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Guranga 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 Jaya Jaya Shiva Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya 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 Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa.
The living entity, us, by nature, we're active. We, all of us, have different personalities. We're all individuals. We engage in activities. We meditate upon different subjects, different activities, so many things. When one cultivates his understanding about his relationship with the Supreme Person, Govinda, under the guidance of the bona fide spiritual master, the activities are here described by Lord Krishna, which is in harmony with what the disciplic succession, the unbroken chain of spiritual master, the confidential loving servants, the maid servants of Radharani, our Gurudev describes how we can be in meditation upon what is transcendental, where we can really experience our heart sheltered upon the protection of someone who loves us eternally, who has unconditional love for us. And He gives this process to us. Begins with the purificatory process that purifies our heart, uncover our true transcendental identity as eternally the loving servant of the Supreme Person. He gives us a process. He gives us instruction how we can be in a world of transcendence, engage in activities that is connected with loving devotional service, what is pleasing to the Supreme Person. The science of Bhakti Yoga. That's why it's very important that the advice of Saint Prabhupada to King Nimi is that we must be following someone who is the representative of the Paramatma, the Lord within the heart, who is transcendental to this material conditioning. And even in the discussion we had before, when Lord Krishna was speaking to Arjuna, He specifically advised Arjuna to find a bona fide spiritual master, his confidential friend, someone who is loving him in a transcendental relationship. That is a spiritual master. We have a lot of us have misconstrued or have this wrong idea of what is a spiritual master. We think spiritual master is someone who have a lot of followers, someone who imposes upon someone. We think a lot of people, when they see the spiritual master, they see him as someone who has this power, who has this control over his followers. And when they see externally how he's being followed, how individuals are serving him, they begin to see it on this process that a personality cult. They begin to imagine what is a spiritual master. But here we are advised, what is a spiritual master? It is a consciousness. It is his whole life, his whole being, simply dovetailed in loving devotional service with the Supreme Person. We should seek and search and pray to have that association. Fortunately, we have come in contact with the disciplic succession, with our Gurudev, Jagad Guru Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa, the dearmost disciple of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. We are very fortunate to come in contact with someone who is representing the Lord within the heart. It is very important that we should be sheltered, that the protection we should be leaning, clinging on, is Lord Krishna, who travels with us eternally, the Lord within the heart. And through the mercy of the Supreme Person, we come in contact with someone who can tell us what the Lord within the heart is expressing, telling us. The third prayer of Lord Chaitanya, feeling humbleness, chanting the holy names in humbleness. Not this idea that we're gonna save the world, we're gonna guide everyone. It is crucial in our life to have a bona fide spiritual master who will be always with us eternally. Or else we'll be lost into oblivion. If we surrender to someone, follow someone who is under the three modes of material nature, who is a fool number one, who is servant of his senses, who is fallible, who possesses authority, but have these four realities, who is in illusion, whose senses are limited, who commits mistakes, and who cheats. We should be very careful where we repose, take shelter. So here, we will discuss in Bhagavad Gita the teachings of Lord Krishna, the activities, the meditation that we should be sheltered. We should be taking refuge, a world that is eternal and transcendental, because it is a connection between our love, our heart, our whole being. And that is a meditation in focus upon the will, doing what is pleasing to the Supreme Person. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. So the spiritual master coming in the long line of spiritual master, from Lord Chaitanya, comes and blesses us with the holy names. And he sings and congregates with us, glorifying the Supreme Person. As what is stated in Scripture, the glories of the Supreme Person, who is none different from His holy names. What we're seeking, whom we are always longing, where we can be sheltered, where we can put our love completely. So when our spiritual master, the residents of the spiritual world, the residents of Vrindavan, the maidservant of Radha and Krishna, he tells us activities that we should be meditating. Not this world, is completely transforming into different forms. Through coming in contact with Him, He gives us this understanding of our true nature, where we can take shelter, where we can put our whole being in harmony with the will of God. So it begins with chanting the holy names. And the chanting of the holy names is complete. So I read here the teachings of Lord Krishna, how it is in harmony with the teachings of our Gurudev. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are surrendered to me, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss, enlightening one another and conversing about me. Lord Krishna tells that to those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give them the understanding by which they can come unto me. Out of compassion for them, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness of ignorance. When my friend came in contact with the teachings of our Gurudev, the first thing he did was to chant the holy names, the Mahamantra. After some times, he got cut off from association with the disciples of our Gurudev. But because he was able to connect himself through the teachings of Parampara, chanting the Mahamantra, it sustained him. It connected him with the Lord within the heart. That for all those years, decades, he's been chanting the holy names. He's been guided by the Lord within the heart. So that is the transcendental beauty and absolute reality, transcendental to this changing world. That when one comes in contact with the Paramatma from the outside and follow the instruction, it connects him with life. It sustains him. When he chanted the holy names, the Supreme Person guided him for decades. And his friends, they have this longing for doing what is pleasing to the Supreme Person, longing to be with Him, and it sustained them to meditate upon the activities of the Supreme Person. So when Narada Muni, during the time he came back from the spiritual world, and he met this mystic meditator. He does not have a taste for the glories of the Supreme Person, His inconceivable potencies. But when Narada Muni came to see the cobbler, this humble devotee, simply seeing Narada Muni, he's very happy, remembering that he came from the world of Lord Narayan. And he began to ask about his humble request, his longing in his heart. When can I go back to my Lord? And then Narada Muni expressed to him, narrated to him the words coming from Lord Narayan, passing on the same message that Lord Narayan expressed to him. He said, Lord Narayan said, after the finish of this body, you will go back to him. And the devotee began to chant, tears gliding from his eyes. He's feeling this shelter, this surrender, this embrace of Lord Krishna. And Narada Muni is so happy seeing him. And she asked, what is Lord Narayan doing? When Narada Muni, before leaving Lord Narayan said to him, if they ask what I'm doing, tell them I'm just stringing an elephant into the eye of a needle. When the meditator asked Narada Muni, have you seen Narayan, Lord Narayan? Have you expressed my longing? When can I see him? I can go back to him. And Lord Narayan said to Narada Muni, tell him after 1,000 lifetimes, he got angry. But there's a date after 1,000 lifetimes. And he's not happy about that. And he asked, what is, if you really saw Lord Narayan, what is he doing? He is just stringing elephants into the eye of a needle. That's impossible. He became angry. He cannot conceive. He's not happy with God's inconceivable potency. He's not happy about Lord Narayan activities, and drove Narada Muni away. But the cobbler, the devotee, is different. When he asked, and Narada Muni said, after the finish of this body, you'll go to him. He's so happy. His meditation for so long, his service, his austerities, that connection culminated with that assurance from the person. He is trying very hard to please and love. And Narada Muni watched him. And he asked, what is my dear Lord doing? Then Narada Muni said, he's just stringing an elephant to the eye of the needle. Wow, the devotee, he danced and chanted, oh my Lord, you're so wonderful. And Narada Muni was amused. You believe me? And the devotee expressed his heart, his understanding, his surrender. And he just pointed to the giant banyan tree with thousands and thousands of teeny-weeny seeds falling down. And in those seeds, he said, giant banyan trees are inside, just like this giant banyan tree. So if the Lord is just stringing an elephant to the eye of the needle, that's nothing. He can put all this giant banyan tree in this small teeny-weeny seed. So here, we can appreciate. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are surrendered to me, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss enlightening one another and conversing about me. It is about the glories of the one you love, the qualities of the one you love, and it is about the experience of compassion, of care, of shelter, and unconditional love that is expressed by a person, and that person is our eternal friend, Lord Krishna. Through the guidance of someone who loves Him, who express his heart, his meditation, his whole being, his whole life, centered around the glories of the Supreme Person, then we will be in that world. Just like this humble cobbler, this great Vaishnava, whose focus, whose meditation, whose life is simply in meditation, in action, to please the Supreme Person, to love the Supreme Person. He has the patience. He engaged in austerities, sacrifice, for years. While in that meditation, he's connected with the source of transcendental happiness, Lord Krishna. And there is a side point we should understand. Narada Muni is one of the spiritual master in our disciplic line. He remembers past, present, and future, representing the Lord within the heart. Just like our Gurudev. So the spiritual master is really heavy, not lightweight, because he's anchored with the cause of all causes, the supreme purifier, the eternal friend, Lord Krishna. His love, his whole being, his life. And that is exemplified by his action, his meditation. And one fruit of someone who is connected with the transcendental world, by his association, we will experience this purification of the heart. Our meditation will be focused upon the pure transcendental world of this loving relationship between the loving reciprocation of Lord Krishna and his devotees, and different Vaishnavas who are transcendental, just like Narada Muni, the cobbler, Lord Narayan. And here, Krishna is assuring us, Lord Krishna, who came here 5,000 years ago to establish religion, love for God, devotional, loving service. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So the ninth process that was given to us begins with hearing and chanting the holy names, rendering service to our Gurudev, surrendering our life to the Supreme Person, offering the nine process of devotional service, the activities that we have been guided by our spiritual master will help us meditate upon the transcendental world and the transcendental loving relationship with the Supreme Person. So here is the position of the Lord from the outside and the Lord, the Paramatma. So when my friend came in contact with our Gurudev, he's guided by the Paramatma. He listens to the Paramatma. And time came, the Paramatma began to advise him, not impose upon him, but in an amiable way, with love, to protect him, to be closer with Lord Krishna. Out of compassion for them, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy the shining lamp of knowledge. Destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. The living entity, us, although transcendental, we tend to be covered, to forget our true nature, and to act upon and do what is not in harmony with our true nature as eternally the loving servant of God. We have this choice to serve or not to serve. So the question is, where will we repose or take shelter, give our love? Will it be in the sweet, loving relationship, amiably, filially, doing what is pleasing to the Supreme Person? Or we make a choice still to serve our own self, but we will still be servant under the dictates of Maya or illusion, subjugated, controlled by material nature. And it's very painful because our shelter will not be upon that world that is Vaikuntha, freedom from anxiety. We will always be anxious. We will be experiencing the burning fire of the jungle, of the forest, the lust, the greed, the anger, the frustration, the anxiety. So when one comes in contact with someone who is a pure loving servant of God, through his association, listening from him connects our heart, our life. We begin to see where we should be, where we are protected, where we can really give our life, our love. So, in our study program, we can see how sweet it is, how joyful it is, how secure the devotee who has given his life, who has given his heart to the Supreme Person. There is also a side note we should be discussing. That's why it's imperative, it's very important, it's a must, an absolute reality we should follow, to listen to the Paramatma and the Saktabesh Avatar, the Paramatma from the outside, the bona fide spiritual master. Because they will be guiding us eternally. Just like my friend who came in contact with the teachings of our spiritual master. For decades he's chanting. So instead of worrying about this person, we should be appreciating how Krishna protected him because he's listening to the Lord within the heart. And also, in the pastimes of Lord Krishna in Dwarka, when Muchukukunda, the great warrior, took part in helping the demigods for years and years, fighting the demons in the universe. All his family members were gone. And due to fighting for years, He has no more relatives that has been left in the material world. They're all gone. So he was given a reprieve to relax, to rejuvenate his body. And he stayed in a cave and slept there and was given by the boon by the demigods that whoever disturbs him and awaken him untimely will be burned into ashes. Who can remember this devotee for so long, thousands and thousands of years, fighting with the demigods? Only the Paramatma who knows past, present, and future, Lord Krishna. So when Lord Krishna came to Dwarka, there was a fight. Jarasandha and Kalayavana were there. So what Lord Krishna did was he went out and Kalayavana ran after him, trying to catch the Supreme Person who ran faster than anyone, who cannot be reached by the ascending method. He's trying to catch him. So he went to inside the cave, and Kalayavana saw this person lying down. So he kicked this person, and untimely he woke up, and his eyes, as was described in Srimad Bhagavatam, it can burn the whole universe. He's so angry. And Kalayavana's body was immolated, burned to ashes. Then Lord Krishna appeared. And Muchukukunda saw Lord Krishna, and he immediately understood the Supreme Person is in front of him. Who can be the eternal guide? Who can embrace the devotee? Lord Krishna. So as practitioner, or we should see our position also. So the devotee simply listens and engage and glorify the Supreme Person. His focus is this humbleness in humility to be sheltered upon that protection of the transcendental pastimes of the devotees and Lord Krishna, which is eternal. So that is his heart, his meditation. And we are advised to be focused upon that. So when Lord Chaitanya was telling us in his prayer, "Oh my Lord, I have no desire to have material wealth. I have no desire to enjoy beautiful women. I have no desire to enjoy innumerable followers of mine. I only desire to be engaged in your loving service life after life." It's very clear for us the heart, the state of what a real devotee should be. Not this external process of appointment, hereditary system. They may be or they may be devotees, but that is not the point. This personality cult, because we are advised to give our life, our heart to the Paramatma, be guided by him internally and externally through this process coming from Parampara. And we are really safe. You follow a fool, he leads you into oblivion. He's also lost. He's also blind. And he's not the supreme protector. The supreme protector, the cause of all causes, Govinda, can be connected with our life in humbleness, just like all the Vaishnavas. Not this idea that we are chanting, oh, we're so pure, we're gonna go out and save the world, and I'm gonna shower them with my purity. But actually, we have this longing for followers, material consideration. It will not give us happiness. What will give us happiness is that when our love is sheltered upon that love of the Supreme Person. When we enter the world, that prayer of Lord Chaitanya, when we have no more material desire for fame, in this case, a great devotee, someone who's very learned, what is important is to enter that world in loving devotion. We take the process that is being given to us by our Gurudev. He comes with the holy names. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. And those who receive the holy names in humbleness will be purified, not by their own power. The Supreme Purifier will purify those who comes in contact with the holy names and will be guided by the Paramatma. So this is a science that we must understand, the transcendental science of Bhakti Yoga. Out of compassion for them, I dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So we can assess ourselves, what ignorance are we covered with? It is the lordship, the false ego. Prior to coming with the holy, with the parampara, it's about dominating the material world. So when a person is not free from this material contamination, he bring it again on another level in the name of so-called spiritual life to control people. So instead of worrying about how we can purify all these living entities, we must assess ourselves, see where we stand. One time, a friend came to the gathering of Srila Prabhupada. He loves his son. And he said, my dear Jagad Guru Siddhaswarup, how can my son become a devotee? And Srila Prabhupada said to him, you must first become a devotee. You must know what is a devotee and become a real devotee to teach your son. So we must not be diverted by illusion. Our life should be based upon these three transcendental aspects. Our transcendental nature, our transcendental position, with wisdom that is eternal, we will enter that world of Vaikuntha and experience Ananda, a world that is transcendental to this miserable world. The more we make progress, the more we cling to it. We see Krishna reveals himself to us, then he's gone. But that doesn't mean that, oh, Krishna's not in my presence, I'm gonna do other things. The more we cling, the more we take shelter, the more we meditate, the more we pray, the more we give our life, hoping, praying, Lord, please protect me. Just like this cobbler, he stayed for so long. And through God's mercy, Krishna came to him, the Paramatma came to him, and assured him, you're gonna go back to Krishna. And expressed to him the activities of Lord Narayan. And he's so happy. But someone who's not really making progress to that world of devotion, as experienced by that meditator, but he was given assurance. that after 1,000 lifetimes, he'll gonna go to Lord Narayan. So my spiritual master was telling us before, you go to the spiritual world, but you don't have love for Krishna, you'll not be happy. That world is a world of love, a loving reciprocation between the pure loving servants who are happy in the happiness of the Supreme Person. The center there, if you study scripture, you'll see the transcendental, unlimited nature and relationship of the Supreme Person with all the living entities going on eternally. And when he came here 500 years ago, and also 5,000 years ago, and with our Gurudev, we are invited to enter that world. So that is a choice we should consider in our life. Are we tired? Are we unhappy? Are we lost? But there's hope. We have Krishna. And we simply take shelter of Him from someone who is blessed, coming in the names of Lord Krishna, passing on this loving science of devotional service. Then we can enter Vaikuntha, the world that has no anxiety, our eternal world. Haribol Namaste.
Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa, Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Karuna Sarvaya Radha Krishna Prasayate Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Ora Karuna Sarvaya Radha Krishna Prasayate Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Guranga 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 Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana 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 Mohana. Madana, Mohana. Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa. Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa. Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa. Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa. Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa. Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa.